Most recently, I had a book came up called The Daily Laws. It is kind of a greatest hits from all of my different books in which I created kind of a day-to-day way of advancing yourself in life and becoming a superior strategist and understanding of all the different aspects of power and the game of understanding human nature. And the following is sort of a compilation of all of the best interviews I've given for creating this habit of daily meditation and of internalizing all the lessons from my books.
We all have ambitions, we all have dreams and goals and desires that we want, and our culture fills us with these kind of vague hopes and dreams. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But really what gets you to where you want are habits, are daily habits. There are negative habits that you can't get rid of. Smoking, drinking, online porn, whatever your daily habit is, you can't get rid of it. But there are other habits that, like discipline, like working every day, like taking steps to reach your goals, that are immensely liberating. And you can get rid of your bad habits through developing positive habits, right? So the goal here is to focus less on the giant dreams and on the everyday process of changing your thinking.
Hello everyone, this video is brought to you by Babbel. As you well may know, learning languages has been extremely important in my life. It has helped me travel to all places in the world and to speak the language in Spanish-speaking countries, in France, in Germany, and Italy. It's very exciting. You get to meet interesting people, you get to read the literature, and it's an incredible discipline for you in everyday life, learning a language. And it kind of gives you a sense of power. Yes, I can do this. And the brilliant thing about Babbel, as opposed to other language courses or apps, is that it gives you real-world conversations, real practical ways, day by day, to master a language and to be able to converse with everyday people, not to read grand philosophical texts, but to actually converse with people in their country. It's extremely practical.
On se détendrait.
On se détendrait.
Now, Babbel offers all kinds of subscription offers, including a lifetime subscription that you may want to avail yourself of. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get 60% off the subscription rate. Now, back to the video. The problem that most people have, and believe me, I know it, when you're writing something or working on a project, is you have no distance. You have no ability to analyze your own work. You think that everything you do is just golden and beautiful, or you think everything you do is awful or terrible, right?
Yeah.
So you can have other people look at it and who can kind of bring you back to reality and say, this is what's working, this isn't what isn't working. But oftentimes you can't trust other people. First of all, maybe they don't really know, maybe they're not as knowledgeable on the subject, and also they might have a political axe to grind or whatever. So you have to become your own critic. You have to be able to see the flaws and what isn't working in your own creation. And sometimes, it's very hard to do that. You tend to kind of gloss over the things that aren't working.
Even the worst job that you're in, if I had just gotten depressed and sad and down on myself, that is dead time. I'm working for this man who's paying me. My time is his time. He owns me during those 8 hours that I'm in his office. It's dead. I'm a dead person. It's like grass that has turned brown inside, right? It's not been watered. But if I turn a switch and I go, I'm learning about human nature. I'm learning about the ugliness in people's souls. I'm learning about the ugliness in my own soul. I'm learning about what I never ever want to do in life. I'm learning about how I'm going to have to quit this job very soon. It's a lifetime. It's green. It's like it's watering. It's turning greener and greener and greener and greener because I'm using it for some purpose. I'm learning. Everything is an example for learning. Even flipping burgers at McDonald's, you're learning about human nature. You're learning about yourself. So it becomes your time. You own it. You're not working for somebody else. You're enriching yourself. You own it. It is your time and it's alive.
That connects to the thing that you and I made together, which is the Amor Fati coin.
Yes.
Which is the idea that it's also a Nietzsche phrase of sort of loving everything that happens to you, not resenting it, not fighting against it, not carrying around a grudge or a burden, but sort of embracing it and finding the good in it.
Yeah.
Where does that fit in with our human nature?
It doesn't fit in because it's not natural to us. Our natural frame, our natural starting position is when something bad happens, why me? To feel sort of a grievance, to feel that things aren't fair, to feel that other people aren't giving you what you want or what you deserve. We start from a position of feeling kind of sorry for ourselves.
Right.
We deserve more than what we're getting. And so a lot of what I'm talking about in this book is overcoming some of these natural elements in human nature and turning them around and using them for another purpose, another way. And amor fati is very powerful in that you train yourself to accept everything that happens. It's sort of a banality to say that things happen for a reason, but there's some truth to it. For Nietzsche, it was, this is life. Life involves pain. Life involves adversity. You're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. Your friends and family members, they're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. You're going to have failure in life. People are going to hurt you. But that is life. That's what it is. So to resist that, to be angry about that, means to not love life itself.
The key factor in life is motivation, is desire, is the energy that you bring to it. If you don't believe in yourself, if you only half-heartedly are reading my books or listening to Tom or listening to me and you go, yeah, I kind of want to change, it won't matter, it won't change anything. You'll just go back to your old habits because habits are very powerful. You're a product of the cultural moment. It's very hard to resist it. It's very hard to swim against the tide of the times that we live in. So if you don't have the motivation, if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the idea that, damn it, I'm going down fast, if I don't turn this around, you're only alive once. It's, YOLO, and it goes past really fast. I can tell you that as I get older, faster than you think. So you've got to be desperate. You've got to tell yourself, I've got to get out of this. I've got to change my life. I've got to swim against the tide of the times that I lived in. I have to change my ways, because if not, when I'm 32, when I'm 35, all of my hopes, all of my horizons will narrow so much that it's going to look very, very bleak. The way to transform yourself is through your work. Now, I know this runs counter to our prevailing cultural prejudices. Work is too ugly, too boring, too banal. Self-transformation, we think, comes through a spiritual journey, therapy, a guru who tells us what to do, intense group experiences and social experiences and drugs. But most of these are ways of running away from ourselves and relieving our chronic boredom. They're not connected to process, and so any changes that occur don't last. Instead, through our work, we can actually connect to who we are instead of running away. And by entering that slow, organic process, we can actually change ourselves from the inside out in a way that's very real and very lasting. This process involves a journey of self-discovery that can be seen as quite spiritual. And in the end of this process, we contribute something unique and meaningful to our culture through our work, which is hardly ugly, boring, or banal. To me, the idea of success that I have now is freedom. I'm extremely fortunate, and I have to wake up and I have to realize that and understand it, that I have the freedom as a writer that 99% of the other writers out there simply don't have. My publisher, I can write whatever I want. They don't bother me. They don't try and change it. And I don't have to get a teaching job to pay my bills, etc. The freedom is unbelievable that I have. With it comes responsibility. I have to I have to be disciplined. I have to motivate myself. I can't just sit there and sit in my chair and just kind of read about the Lakers all day or whatever. I got to work. I got to be disciplined. But for me, success and power is that feeling of freedom. I don't have any bosses. I don't have any people breathing down my neck. I don't have anybody telling me what I have to do or what I have to write. I don't have anybody canceling me or saying you can't write about this or that. I'm the luckiest man on the planet.
Because I have studied throughout my years and the thousands of books I've read for my research, biographies of the most successful, famous, creative people. And inevitably, these are people who understood at some point in life that this is what I was destined to follow. This is a path for me. Now, that path might have been, most people, it's like a zigzag. You don't have a straight line. This is what I was meant to do. It's never like that. It wasn't for me. You kind of have an idea, and it becomes clearer and clearer, and you find that path, and it leads to so much power. You become so creative and so energized because you enjoy your work, you learn faster, you're engaged emotionally with what you're doing. It is so important.
People want their life to be free of struggle and conflict. They want a smooth path in front of them. When you face adversity or things aren't going quite well, you have to reassess who you are. You have to reassess your opinions. You have to say, maybe I'm not doing this the right way. Maybe my patterns of responding in the past aren't working out. Maybe there's something wrong with me. How can I learn from this moment? How can I get past this particular obstacle? If you never have failure, if you never have conflict, you are never going to develop yourself in life. And there are people who are studying children now in the world who are saying it's a major problem because parents are trying to shield them from any kind of conflict in the world. And children develop through kind of struggles and conflicts and friction with siblings and colleagues and even parents. So inadvertently, you could be creating a monster by trying to remove all kinds of forms of resistance and conflict. So conflict is something you must welcome as a test and a challenge and a way to strengthen yourself up, because life is harsh, life is difficult. And if you're not tough in this world, you're going to have a life of pain.
Psychologist Abraham Maslow, who studied a lot of children, for instance, he said that children, they have what he calls impulse voices. And these are voices that say, I like this, I don't like that. They're very clear. They know what they like and what they don't like. Everyone had that because it's the nature of being an infant in this world, right? Because it's natural. It's a voice that's naturally inside all of us. And then as you get older, you start listening to Mr. Harbinger and Mrs. Harbinger telling you, don't do this, do this. You know, this is what you should behave like this, don't behave like that. And slowly you go through a process where you're not hearing it anymore. You're hearing what teachers tell you. You're hearing what parents tell you. You're hearing what peers are telling you about what's cool, what's not cool. I'm talking about like your career, what you were meant to do. And then you arrive, you're 18, 19 years old, and you haven't a clue because you can't hear that voice anymore. And you're going to try this, that, the other, not based on things that are deep inside of you, but based on what other people have told you you should do or what they think is cool.
My daily routine, if you heard it, you would say, Robert, you lead the most boring life of any human on this planet. And it's true, I do lead the most boring life. Basically, I get up around 7:30. I meditate on those pillows over there in this room for 45 minutes. And it's very rigorous discipline, because try imagining keeping your mind still, your body still for 45 minutes. It's the high point of my day. It's the most beautiful point of the day. I'm now really looking for, I'm making breakthroughs. It's now 12 years I've been doing it. It's making everything tolerable in my life. It is the best way to start a day. Then every other day, because of my stroke, I can't do my physical exercise that I love, but I have a special kind of bicycle, and I go zipping up. The hills around here on these mega journeys for an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, to get the aerobic exercise that I'm addicted to because I'm an aerobic junkie. And then I come back, I have breakfast, I procrastinate, I read the newspaper, I take a nap, I have lunch, and then I call my mom. And then around 4 o'clock, I get my sorry ass into writing, literally at 4 o'clock, because I like working late in the afternoon. From 4 to 8, I do my writing as best I can, as focused and attentive as I can. Then it's dinner, and then we like to watch a movie.